10 steps of buying a home. Okay. That's what we're going to go over today. We're going to go over this in lieu to the ultimate home buying masterclass that I'm going to have this coming Saturday. It's this coming Saturday. It's going to be in Northern Liberties and it's going to be a phenomenal time. So I'm going to go through these 10 steps of buying a home so everybody out there that's listening to me knows exactly how to buy a home step by step. Okay. So let's get into it. All right. The first thing is, of course, you got to save for your down payment. You got to save for your down payment. I know there's a lot of people saying, oh, buy a home with no money down. All right. And you can buy a home with no money down, but you got to have some type of reserve. You got to have, and most down payment assistance programs, they're going to want you to have some type of reserve because they don't want you to just buy a home and then just be home poor and something breaks and now you can't fix it. No, they want you to have some money. So you definitely want to save for a down payment. Now, how do you do that? When I was first starting off, this was many moons ago, 10 plus years ago, when I bought my first home, what I did is I got a bank account, an online bank account. And that online bank account was something that I posited about 20% of my income. I had a 9 to 5 at the time. So I had this bank account. It was an online bank account. So it was hard for me to get the money. It can't be easily accessed. And what you want to do is take your paycheck, take 20% of that, get it directly deposited into that account so you don't see it and you learn to live on 80% of your income. I did that until I had enough money for the actual closing costs. All right. Um, so that's something that you can do, but you definitely want to have some monies in the tuck. Also, there are some expenses that aren't in the closing costs. For example, you have inspection and you have your appraisal. All right. So you have your inspection and you have your appraisal. So those are two costly items that aren't in the actual closing cost. An inspection is going to cost you around 5 to 600, and the appraisal is going to cost you 6 to 700. All right. So you got to have at least that. That's number one. So number one is what? Save for your down payment. Also, if your credit score isn't that good, you can kind of make up for it with a down payment. How is that? Because if you do have a lump sum of money to put down on the property, that makes the loan lower. For example, let's just say that you had $40,000 saved up. Okay. If there's a home that costs $200,000 and you put that 40,000 down, okay, if you put that 40,000 down, now the home is only what? What I say, 200? 160. Okay, so it's only 160 instead of 200. So that's why you definitely want to save up as much money as possible. Now, listen, I know because of inflation, food's high, gas is high, eggs is eggs going back up. I went in a grocery store yesterday, and eggs seemed like they were at COVID levels again. All right, so I know things are expensive out there. Okay, um, but you want to save up as much as possible so that if things do come up, you do have the money or the wherewithal to take care of it. So step one in buying a home is saving up. Now, people ask me, all right, well, how much money do I need? Okay. I usually tell them around $5,000 at the minimum. Now, I've helped people purchase properties who've only had $1,000 or $2,000. But a comfortable number, all right, is $5,000 according to me. All right. So that's step number one. Step number one is make sure you save as much money as possible for a down payment. That's step number one. And what's going to happen is, again, the Ultimate Home Buying Masterclass. If you haven't signed up for it, you definitely want to sign up for it ASAP. All right, just go to buyinginphilly.com. Again, that's buyinginphilly.com, and make sure you reserve your seat. It's going down this Saturday at 1 o'clock in Northern Liberties. Okay, I'm going to have experts from every aspect of the business come in and speak with you guys about buying a home. All right. But again, the first step is the down payment. That's number one. Number two is know your credit. It's hosted, it's in person. It's just in person, sister. Um, All right. So number two is knowing your credit. All right. You got to know your credit. Pull your credit score. And listen, your credit score is is not what is that? What is that? Credit Karma. Credit Karma is not your credit score. All right. Credit Karma is great for seeing what's on your actual credit. But as far as credit score, there are two types of scores. There are there's our FICO and there are a Vantage score. A Vantage score is like a cheaper version, all right, and that's what Credit Karma has. So that's why when you have Credit Karma, you'll look at it and it may say 670, but then you go to get your credit pulled from somebody that uses FICO, and they say, well, no, you only got a 500. It's because it's a different setup. Okay, it's a different setup. Vantage score is cheaper than a FICO, but nobody uses a Vantage score for your credit worthiness to give you a loan. Everybody uses, um, excuse me, everybody uses a FICO score. So you definitely want to get your FICO score. And um, if you want to get your FICO score for $1, just DM me wherever you're getting this from, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're getting this from, okay, what you can do is DM me and I'll give you the link to get all three credit scores for $1. Okay. So again, but you want to know your credit score. Now let's talk about credit for a minute because credit isn't something that you have to that's like you can change right now. Okay, it's not something that you can change right now, but you want to get a handle on it. Credit is a lifestyle, it's habits, it's doing certain things in a certain way. Okay, um, what a lot of people don't know is 65% of your credit score is made up of two things. Okay, again, 65% of your credit score is made up of two things. That is credit utilization and latenesses, all right, or payment history. I should say that's probably a better word for it. Payment history. Okay, 1 second here. Uh, okay, gotcha. All right, so payment history and your credit utilization. Don't be late on your credit payments. Don't be late. So how do you combat that? Put everything that has access to auto pay. All right. If it has auto pay, put auto pay on it and put them a minimum so that way you safeguard yourself from ever having a late payment because a late payment can knock you down. A late payment can knock you down 100 points. Okay, something crazy. So you definitely want to make sure that you have auto pay on there. Now let's talk about credit utilization. As far as credit utilization, I want to share my screen here. Give me 1 second. Let me share this screen over here. Okay. So credit utilization. Credit utilization means are you how much of the credit that you have access to are you using? For example, if credit limit is $1,000 and you use $500, you're at 50%. That's credit limit. Your credit limit's at 50%. All right. Not good. In regards to the credit score, that's not good. It needs to be at like around 30%. All right. That needs to be 30% for it not to hurt you. For you to get the most points, you need to be around like 5, 6%. Now, here's the thing you probably don't know is that the credit card has two different dates. All right. The two different dates when dealing with your credit card. It's the statement date and it's the payment date. The statement date is when the credit card basically snitches on you to the credit bureaus. Okay. Now that statement date might be the 15th, but the due date might be the 30th. And the 30th is where if you don't pay by then what's going to happen is that you get late fees. You get late fees. Okay. So when you're looking at your credit, there are two different statements. There's your or two different dates. There's your statement date, and then there's your due date. So Your money just need to be paid by this due date for you not to get any charges, late charges. Okay, you got to pay the minimum, but the statement date is, and I don't know why they do it like this, but the statement date is when they actually contact the credit bureaus and say, "Hey, Khalid owes $5,000." Okay, let me add this to the screen real fast. Okay, that's exactly what I'm going to do. All right, so that's number two. So number one was finding a down. Number one was saving for a down payment. Number two was your credit score. And again, this Saturday, this Saturday at 1 o'clock, the Ultimate Home Buying Masterclass. I'm going to have Drew Smith from Trinity Solutions, who's a credit expert. So I'm going to have him there so you guys can actually ask him anything as far as saving for a down payment. And also, he's going to be giving credit scores also. So come down, sign up, go to buyinginphilly.com, and he's going to be giving I'm not sure for free. Okay, so let me not put him out there, but he's going to be giving out credit scores. Okay, so if you don't know your credit score, then you definitely want to sign up. Go to buyinginphilly.com and make sure you reserve your spot for the Ultimate Home Buying Masterclass. Make sure you do it now. Now, go to buyinginphilly.com. It's happening this Saturday. All right, so that's number two. Number three is finding a real estate agent. Number three is finding a. Now I'm gonna make this real easy for you. I'm gonna make this really, really easy for you. Okay. Now, if you're in Philadelphia, if you're in Jersey, or you're in Delaware, you already found one. He is ISE. Okay, you found him already. All right. But if you're not in Philadelphia, New Jersey, or Delaware, you can also reach out to me. You can also reach out to me. I have a network going around the world, okay? And I can definitely hook you up with a real estate agent, all right? But why do you need a real estate agent so early in the process? You need him because he should really be the quarterback of this entire situation, okay? That's why you definitely want somebody that's knowledgeable, all right? Because there are a lot of nuances when going through this transaction that if somebody's new, they may stumble and it could cost you a lot. So you definitely want somebody that's knowledgeable. You also want somebody that cares. You also want somebody that cares because if you have somebody like I said, there's so many moving parts with the transaction. If you don't have somebody that cares, whoa, look out. Look out because they're representing you. They're representing you, and there will be conversations that you're not privy to between the realtor and the other realtor, the realtor and the inspector, the realtor and the appraiser, the realtor and the lender, going on and on and on and on. So you definitely want to have somebody that cares, and you won't meet a more caring agent than your boy. Okay, very aggressive for my buyers. So again, come down March 9th, this Saturday, 1 o'clock. Everybody's going to leave with a customized home buying blueprint. Everybody's going to leave with a customized home buying blueprint. All right. So make sure you go to buyinginphilly.com. Again, buyinginphilly.com is spelled exactly how it sounds. And make sure that you reserve or RSVP your spot. Okay. So that's number three. Number four is getting a pre-approval. You have to get a pre-approval because how do you know how much you're qualified for? How do you know how much you're qualified for if you don't have a pre-approval? You definitely have to have a pre-approval. Now, somebody may say, "Oh, well, I probably can't qualify for a loan." Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Okay? Contact me. I'll hook you up with a lender. You only got to have a 580. You only need a 580. Okay. And if you don't have a 580, let me hook you up with a lender so we can see, okay, what's wrong with your credit and how do we get you to a 580? I know a lot of people, what they want to do is they want to kind of wait till the right time. Okay, well, let me wait for the right time. You know when you should get ready to buy a home right now. right now, even if your lease isn't up till a month or till the end of the year. Maybe your lease isn't up to the end of the year, but you still want to find a real estate agent, find a lender, get your credit ran to see, okay, what's wrong with my credit and how can I improve? How can I improve? It's just like a title fight, okay? Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, Rick Jones back in the day, they didn't start for the fight the night before. No, they trained months and years. Well, this is the same thing. This is the same thing. You don't want to wait to get ready. You want to be ready. Okay. And I'm going to have a lender down on March 9th or on March 9th. I'm going to have a lender down at the Ultimate Home Buying Masterclass where we're going to be giving out pre approvals on site. We're going to be giving out pre-approvals on site. So make sure you go to buyinginphilly.com, buyinginphilly.com, and make sure you RSVP because we have a limited amount of spaces. We got food, we got raffles, we got door prizes, okay? But there's going to be a limited amount of people because we really want it to be intimate. So everybody gets their questions answered and everybody walks out there ready to buy a home. All right. But you definitely want to get pre approved because you want to know, okay, how much can I afford of a home? Because you may be able to get pre approved for $500,000. Maybe you're only comfortable with a payment around $400,000. Okay. We got to go through that process to kind of see what's what. We got to go through that process to see, okay, how much are you pre approved for? Okay. So that's number four. So number one was saving for a down payment. Number two was getting your credit score right. Number three was finding a real estate agent, which ain't hard to do. If you're hearing this and you're in Philly, Delaware, and New Jersey, but you also want to get pre-approved. And with that, I will put you on to vented lenders. Why is that important? Because a lot of people think, well, you know what? I want to get a home, I want to get a mortgage. Let me go to my local bank and they go to their local bank and they give them a number of a call center in Idaho. You're going to be treated like what? You're going to be treated like what? A number because that person doesn't know you. Even if there's a mortgage lender in house, they're going to speak to you, but you're only going to be privy to what they have. Okay, I deal with many lenders. I deal with many lenders, so I know what everybody has. So once I understand what your situation is after our buying consultation, then I'll be able to put you with the lender, especially if you're a home buyer, especially if you're no, excuse me, especially if you're a first time home buyer. If you're a first time home buyer, I mean they're throwing money at people right now. They are throwing money at people for first time home buyers. Now, if you're a second time home buyer, there's money out there, but not as much as a first time home buyer. All right. So it's really there's like a new program that comes almost every week. There's a new program that comes out. All right. And I got my hands on all of it. All right, but we need to do a buyer's consultation so I can kind of see, okay, what's your situation and how can we get the most money for you? All right. So that's number four. We got to get pre-approved. We got to get our finances straight first. We got to get our finances straight first. That's number four. Now, after we do all that, now it's time to go find a home. Here's the thing is you want to be careful. How should I say this? When you're looking at a home, there's basically three major things that you're looking at, and this is order of importance. Number one is the neighborhood, because you can't change the neighborhood. You can't change the neighborhood. So, number one is the neighborhood. Number two is going to be the space. How big is the space? Do I need a three-bedroom? Do I need a four-bedroom? Do I need one bathroom? Do I need two bathrooms? Do I need a backyard? All right. So that's going to be number two. So first thing is neighborhood. You can't change the neighborhood. Once you're in the neighborhood, that's a wrap. Okay. Number two is the size. Number three is the finishes. Okay. The finishes is everything else: the flooring, the kitchen, the bathroom, the crown molding, the ceiling, the roof. All of that are finishes. Why? Why is that the last thing? Because you can literally tear down a house and build it back up. Okay, so you can change everything in a reference to the finishes. All right. So we're going to find a home. I'm going to send you properties based on your criteria. So you got to put some thought into it. What do I want in the house? Not every little detail, but there are going to be a lot of things that you absolutely must have. For example, there are people for whatever reason they gotta have a backyard. They have to have a backyard. Okay, so all right, you know that you need this. All right, now there's going to be things that you absolutely don't want. All right, some people they absolutely don't want, for example, a tree in the backyard. Okay, maybe for whatever reason, they absolutely don't want a tree. All right. But have those lists. Have those lists so when you're going in a home, up that backyard got a tree. Okay, let's not waste time with this. Let's go on. Let's go to the next house. Okay. Let me see this real fast. Okay. Um, all right, so we're gonna find a home for you. Now we'll go in and out of homes until you feel like you have something that you're comfortable with. Once you have something that you're comfortable with, we're going to make an offer on it. And I'm going to help you make that offer. Now, right now in Philadelphia and the surrounding counties, the situation of the market is that there's just not a lot of homes out there. There's just not a lot of homes out there. So when we're making an offer, we definitely got to be aggressive and we got to be fast. We got to be fast on it because there's still a lot of people out there looking for homes. All right. And the thing is Philadelphia, somebody may listen to me and they may say, oh well, you know what? Maybe I'll wait. Maybe I'll wait. If you wait, the only thing that you're going to be doing is paying more. The only thing you're going to be doing is paying more. And that's twofold, okay? Because either you're saying that the housing prices are going to come down, or you're saying that interest rates are going to come down. If home prices come down, well, I don't really see how home prices can come down because there's not a lot of homes out there. There needs to be more homes than people who actually want to buy the homes. It's supply and demand. Is capitalism 101. Supply and demand. All right. So there's not a lot of homes out there. So the prices really won't it'll be hard. I'd be hard pressed to think the prices are going to come down because there's not a lot of homes out there. So somebody else might say, well, what if the interest rate? I'm gonna wait for the interest rate to come down. But if you wait for the interest rate to come down, guess what? Everybody that's on the sideline is going to come back into buying a home, and that's going to do what? Demand's going to go up. Demand's going to go up. So if interest rates do go down, demand goes up. Guess what else goes up? Price. So this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time to buy a home. And again, the Ultimate Home Buyer Masterclass going down on March 9th. Go to buyinginphilly.com. Again, www.buyinginphilly.com. Everybody's going to get a customized blueprint. You're going to learn about the whole home buying process. You'll have a chance to ask questions to residential experts. We'll have a lender there. We'll have an insurance guy there. We'll have a credit guy there. We'll have a title guy there. We'll also have an inspector there. Okay. All certified professionals so that you can ask them any question that you want. Okay. So let's get back to it. Number one in the home buying process was a down payment. Number two is knowing your credit score. Number three is finding a real estate agent. Number four is getting a pre-approval. Number five is finding a house. Number six is making an offer. Number seven is having a home inspection. Now, this is why you don't have to be the residential expert. So when you're going into the house and you're looking in houses, trying to find a house, okay, neighborhood. Now you want to look at the size. And now we're looking at the finishes, okay? You or your father, y'all don't have to be the inspector because you're going to hire an inspector. So when you hire that inspector, he's going to look at everything that's exposed, okay? And he's going to furnish you a report. Now that report It's going to have everything that's wrong with the property. Now, this is what I say to first-time home buyers. For first-time home buyers, an inspection is like a buffet. If you eat too much of it, you're going to get sick. Because, and especially in Philadelphia and the surrounding counties, this is an old part of the United States. This is an older part. So unless you're getting a new construction, there are going to be issues that are inherently wrong with the property. Okay. And the inspector is going to write and he's going to point out all of them. So don't feel like you're getting a lemon. Don't feel like that. But we're looking for the major things. Okay. We're looking for the heat doesn't work. The roof, there's a leak in the roof. The air conditioner doesn't work. So we're looking for those major things. Okay. But the inspector is going to furnish you a report. And based on that report, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the seller and say, hey, we want this fixed, this fixed, this fixed, and this fixed. So they're going to fix all the things, fix some of the things, or fix none of the things. Okay. And that's part of the negotiation. So when we do that, and once we get past that, then what's going to happen is you're going to go into mortgage underwriting. What does that mean? And this is the part that probably takes the most time. Mortgage underwriting is when the bank or the mortgage company, now they're really crossing their T's and dotting their I's and make sure that you're financially worthy of this loan. So they'll do employment verification and they'll verify the information that you gave them. So this will go on, and the last part of that is the appraisal. Now, the appraisal is when you have an appraiser. They go through the property and they give their educated opinion on what they think that property is worth, and they do that by taking comps. They take comparable homes in the area that are similar to your home and see what buyers have paid for them. So um, once they do that, there's three situations that can happen with the appraisal. It can either come above what you agreed upon price. It either can come at the same value of the agreed upon price, or it can come lower. Two of these is bad. One of them is an issue. All right. So if the appraisal comes in above what you agreed to pay, congratulations. Congratulations. You're buying a home that has already has equity in it, means already has value in it. If it comes in at value, then great, no issues. Okay. If it comes in at value, then there's absolutely no issues. Now, if it comes in undervalue, now we got problems. We got problems if it comes in undervalue. If it comes in undervalue, then what they're saying is that that agreed upon price is more than what that appraiser thinks that this home is worth. Okay. And I don't see this a lot. All right. I don't see this a lot at all. I may see this, I want to put a number to it, maybe 7%, 6% of the time. I rarely see this. Okay. And that's because usually when realtors price the home, they usually price it correctly. So I usually don't see this. But when I do see it, you got a couple of options there as a buyer. If you're a buyer and it comes in under, for example, it's easier if we do an example. For example, if you agreed to pay $300,000 for a property, okay? You agreed, they listed their property for $300,000 and you agreed to pay that $300,000. Now let's just say that home came in at 260. So now the home came in at valued at 260. So that's a $40,000 gap. That's a $40,000 gap. So what are your options? Number one, and what happens most of the time is the seller would just drop the price. So the seller in this case will drop the price to $60,000. Everything moves on happy. All right. Or what can happen on the other end of the spectrum, and I've never seen this happen, but the buyer could bring that extra $40,000 closing. So that's on top of his closing costs and down payment. Or what could happen is they can meet somewhere in the middle. And that means it was at $300,000. The seller says, okay, I'll drop it to 280. and then the buyer brings $20,000 on top of their closing costs and down payment. Okay, so that could happen, and I always want to make my buyers aware of that and my sellers, just so they know kind of okay what's going on. Now, after the appraisal comes in, then the bank kind of finishes up what they're going to do, and now you get it clear to close. The buyer, you get it clear to close, and then we go to closing. Once we go to closing, what we'll do before going to closing is we'll go do a walkthrough. And we'll do a walkthrough of the property just to make sure that the seller didn't kick any holes in the property. So we'll do a walkthrough. We'll turn on all the faucets and make sure there's no leak. And if there was agreed upon repairs, then we'll have those repairs. We'll make sure those repairs are done during this walkthrough, which is going to be before the closing. And then we'll go, great time, take a lot of pictures. We'll have closing. Okay. So once we have closing, next you'll move in. And once you move in, then we're going to start down the road of what? Building generational wealth. Because I'm convinced buying a home is the foundation of generational wealth. All right. Some things that you should do when you buy your home is pay your rent or pay your mortgage every 2 weeks. Pay your mortgage every 2 weeks. Okay, because this helps you make more payments and it cuts like 6 or 7 years off of your 30-year loan. All right, so everything that I just poured into you guys and a whole lot more is going down on this masterclass, this home buying masterclass that's happening on March 9th, which is this Saturday. So don't wait to the last minute. Don't wait to the last minute to RSVP. It's free. It's free. Okay? Don't wait to the last minute to RSVP. Go to www.buyinginphilly.com. Again, www.buyinginphilly.com. Okay? All right, guys. Get back to work here. Again, this is Colin Nathan Alim, the real estate boy. If you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate, I got you. All right, y'all.